And you join us in Heat K. So we have the Morleda from Penryn, we have the Henry Smarden from New Haven, Western Spirit from Western Supermare, Sarika from the River Team, we have Irene from Lewis, we have Ross Carrick from Port Isaac, we have Brew from Burnham, and we have Epic Energy from Epic Gigability. Where are we here, Andrew, in this race?
So yeah, we're a little bit slow off the start here. They kind of took us by surprise. Starters got us well underway. We're probably already quarter of the length down the track, and Ross Carrick have got out to a pretty good start there. So we're in this middle section of the course at the moment. I'd say the conditions settle down, if anything. I think we've got tide running from the east to the west, coming down with the wind now. So wind and tide both going the same way. Conditions have flattened out. It's pretty nice down here, really. So we're in this middle section. We've got Ross Carrick leading. Just looking behind, who Morleda doing quite well on the far side there. I'd say Brew probably in second. So you got Ross Carrick lead, Brew second. Epic Energy very close to Morleda for third, fourth, and then a dead straight line with Western Spirit, Sarika and the Irene, and then Henry Smarden kind of just on the western end of the line here, probably in last place at the moment.
Yeah, this Port Isaac crew and Ross Carrick, they're really pushing forward here. So this was one of the crews, I believe. Did they come up this morning? I'm not. I think it was Sarika and the Irene which came down. So yeah, Ross Carrick, Port Isaac have done a great job here. We're seeing them really moving clear of Brew, but Sarika and Western Spirit on this side. We're on the kind of St Agnes side of the line, if you can envisage that, and we're seeing Sarika and Western Spirit really taking the game to each other. So well done there. In Sarika we have got River Teen, and in Western Spirit we have got Western Supermare. So we are here this afternoon with the finals. This is it. There is nothing left to be raced. This is your final race of the weekend. Everything has to go out there, and the really important thing here is who gets on the podium, isn't it, Andrew?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, everyone treats getting on that podium as a win, you know, and it's nice to see everybody up there celebrating. Shout out to everyone who's in the park this afternoon listening. Hope you're getting some good images of the racing and you're enjoying it. But at the moment, we've definitely got Ross Carrick really gone out to a decent-sized lead. There's clear water now between them and Brew. Epic Energy doing really well. Morleda possibly slipping backwards. I mean, 2 minutes out at the start, Morleda were really looking quite strong. And I think they're possibly dropping back a little bit now. So we've got Ross Carrick first, Brew second. I go Epic Energy third, fourth. Oh, who would you go for?
I don't know who's call this actually between Brew and Sarika and Western Spirit. We've got the age-old problem which has plagued commentators in rowing, which is that we can't quite see the line here, can't we? We need it to be like the Olympics. That's what we need to tell sillies next year. We want to see lines at 500 metres, 1k, so we can really judge those distances. But Ross Carrick, the Port Isaac crew, Port Isaac, I saw them on the quay, and they are going to bring a mega energy to the podium this afternoon. There were already sort of pom-poms out, sequin hats in the Port Isaac blue. So this Ross Carrick crew, they are absolutely going for it, and they will have Port Isaac backing them up all the way. Can we please give Port Isaac a big cheer as we come in towards the harbour? We want to be able to hear you. Andrew and I are expecting the noise to absolutely build and build this afternoon. This Heat K, they are going to be the first to raft up. Let's hope they got the snacks in, hey Andrew?
Yeah, I hope they were all prepared. I mean, we never allowed it in my day. They'd be saying, no, it's too much weight in the boat. We don't want anything, we should take everything out that we possibly could. But I suspect some of these lower crews, they've probably got a few items to celebrate afterwards, should we say.
You're lifting the veil there on some tactics of some of the crews. We definitely used to get a rib to come and pick up our gilets because, you know, that extra 2 kilograms, we didn't want to take that down the course. Why wouldn't we think the same about ourselves? I'm not quite sure. But, you know, it's just superb effort here. Ross Carrick, Port Isaac, well done. You are in the lead. But it could be anything. Western Spirit from Western Supermare, the Sarika from the River Teen, and Brew from Burnham. It really could be any one of those for that second position. Then we have Epic Ability from Epic Gigability on the outside there. They're in a real tussle there with the Irene from Lewis. On the outside, we've got Morleda. I think she's just dropping back a little bit off the Irene there. And then we have the crew of the Henry Smarden. They're coming in at the back there. But Ross Carrick, I actually think they're getting caught here a bit, Andrew.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lovely, lovely slow stroke rate. Bodies back into the bow. We're just picking up the edge of the land here, so there's still quite a lot of race to go yet. And Epic Energy definitely making a move on the far side, that eastern end of the line. As I'm looking at it, the Cox of the Ross Carrick in first place, kind of being overlapped by the Epic Energy's number one rower. So there's an overlap there, and Brew aren't far off their heels either. So that 1, 2, 3. As we come into the really flat water in the lee of the land here in a minute, it might all change. And actually, Sarika and Western Spirit going pretty well as well. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it's developing quite nicely. Hopefully they can keep it going for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Ross Carrick looked to me like they've put the hammer down a little bit. They obviously saw that threat coming, but they need to keep an eye up here on Western Spirit and Sarika. I remember, was it 2002? This is going back now, 23 years, but it was the Dutch crew, I seem to remember. And in the final, in the A heat, they got that berth that Western Spirit's in, and they just came from nowhere. And the other crews, to be frank, they just didn't see them until it was too late, and the Dutch clinched a victory that day, which was just, an epic thing to remember.
Yeah, it's all tactics, isn't it? I mean, I'm hoping that we're going to have some good racing in here this afternoon. Conditions pretty favourable. As I said, the tide and the wind bringing everybody down towards the west, so we'll see if everybody bunches up. Hopefully you get some good key head finishes. You can see whichever crew you're supporting today finishing in under the key head. You get a really, really good view. But coming back to the race, Ross Carrick still hanging on in there. They're still in first place, but Epic Energy, from our angle, still overlap. Brew still there, so it's not really changing that much. We're well in, just under the land. We've probably got a couple of minutes now. I call it marks are in. Have we settled this with a bit of local intel, what this island's called?
No, we've been told different things by everybody.
Taylor's
Island. We've been told Toll Island. I call it Seagull Rock. You call it.
Yeah, marks are in for me.
So I think everybody has a name. We all know the landmark though. While we're talking about the Dutch, can we just say hello to Mariska? She's watching us today from Holland. She's not able to be with us here, but she sent me some lovely messages in, just saying that she's watching us all, and she wants me to find Karen Bezweather later for a gold medal hug once she has that Veterans Trophy around her neck. So that one's coming for you, Mariska. But Ross Carrick, they're doing a beautiful job here. They're really holding off Brew, and Brew, I think they've dropped away from Sarika, but Sarika are going to have that line close to the key. So I don't know.
No, I think Ross Carrick looking much more comfortable in the last 2 minutes. Brew has certainly stepped up. Epic Energy probably gone back about half a length there. So your 1, 2, 3 at the minute is Ross Carrick, then Brew, then Epic Energy. And then back in fourth, probably Sarika looking pretty strong at the minute. Do you want to go who's behind them?
Oh, I think Epic Energy have got fourth at the moment, but they need to be watched because they're coming up. And then we've got the team here from Western Supermare. I'm wondering if the people in the park from Western Supermare want to give their women's crew here a massive, massive cheer, because aren't they rowing beautifully? Again, just casting my eyes up, having a look, that Ross Carrick group, Port Isaac. Come on, Port Isaac, we want to hear you as we come in from the quay. I am expecting big Port Isaac energy. That's what we want to deliver today. You want to welcome your women's crew home this afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly gives you a lift. These last couple of minutes, we can now see the quay heads completely packed here, and if you start shouting, the wind's kind of switched around even more to east, maybe southeast here. And they'll be able to hear you. So we get that couple of 100 yards from the finish, everyone starts shouting, cheer your crew on. We've still got Ross Carrick here at the moment. We're past marks are in now. So Ross Carrick leading, Brew second, Epic Energy for Sarika. That's quite a tight third place, that. What do you think?
Yeah, it really is at the moment. It's difficult for us to call it from this point in the line, but Epic Energy, you are living up to your name, because look, you are coming through on the outside there. There's absolutely no way that they have given up on this. And I'm going to be honest here, Andrew, I got nerves. What's that about?
Well, sometimes I think it's worse watching than actually racing. If you're in the race, at least you've got some adrenaline pumping and you're doing some work. Standing here watching it, I think your heart rate might be higher than actually being in the boat.
I'm feeling genuinely sick. I haven't eaten anything, and anyone who knows me ain't a good thing, because I've got a bit of a catchphrase, which is I don't want to lose weight. So here we go. We've got the Ross Carrick in the lead here, but we've got Brew. They're really Brew are absolutely not giving up on this. They want that podium position. Can we also just give a little shout out here to the crew of Henry Smarden, the New Haven crew. They're one of the newer gig clubs that we have in the flotilla, and it's just wonderful to see them with us. But they're also coming in. They are with more ladies at the back of the crew. So again, those Penryn crews, get up on your feet, give your ladies a shout. They will greatly appreciate it. Ross Carrick, you need to be careful here. Brewer on the charge.
Yeah, they certainly are. From our angle, Brew probably up to the cocks of the Ross Carrick, so it is close and it's tightening all the time. Not far to go to the finish here. You're probably looking last 20 odd strokes. I think Ross Carrick are going to hold on to this.
Yeah, I think you're right there. You're just seeing them respond. It's just lovely to see the support boats. We've got the Firethorn of Briar and we've got the Meridian of Scilly. They're around us. The Meridian has turned back because we can already see the next heat bearing down on us. But the support that we're getting here from the boats and from the harbour. Oh, poor Isaac, you absolute beauty. See them up on the harbour there. This is going to be a moment for this women's crew to remember. Rowing in under the cheers of their crew, their crewmates, their teammates. They're bringing big Port Isaac energy. They are laying the gauntlet down from the other clubs. Can you show your support in the same way? Because that is something really quite spectacular. So this is Ross Carrick from Port Isaac. They are going to be the first on the podium today. We've got Brew and then we've got Epic Energy and Sarika. I'll be honest, from my angle, I can't really call that. We've got the Western Spirit from Western Supermare. We've also got the Irene crew there from Lewis. Really good job. And then Morleda. These women have been rowing this Pilot Gig Championships for literally decades, and here they are still rowing together, still enjoying the championships. It's a pleasure to see you on the water, ladies. The Henry Smarden as well, they're really taking it to Morleda. They don't want to go home with a wooden spoon. Right,
we switch round, so that's Group K done, and we're going to read you the berths for Group J, which is coming up now. So we've got Slippen in berth 1 with Foy C. We've got Minadoo in berth 2 with Rame. Porthurst is St Goran A in berth 3. Golden Eagle berth 4, St Mary's F crew. Berth 5, Double Dutch, KWV. It's the Dutch. Berth 6 is Volt, St Goran B. Berth 7, Brisbane, Cape Cornwall. We've got the Killy in berth 8, which is Roseland. Avona, berth 9, Portishead. 10 is the Dolphin in berth 10, which is Bristol. Azuk in 11, Hale B. And Eminem, you say it.
Mightiness and Morladron. I'm wondering if they named that boat just to cause me issues, because it feels like it. Right, anyway. Wow. Aren't you doing well? Out in the lead by an absolute country mile is the Killigera, a boat I've got real soft spot here for from Rosen. Like I say, I can remember that boat being launched. I can remember the inaugural row that we took her across over to St Maurs, and what absolute beautiful boat she was on that day, and she stays that position. I think, Rosen really take care and pride in their gigs. It's lovely to hear actually that Brian Schnawath has recently bought the gig shed in St Maurs to preserve it for future generations. After COVID, the average house price in St Maurs was 1.4 million, which made it really difficult for the local crew to maintain their position right in the middle of the village. So that is an absolute heartwarming story. Thank you very much to Brian and Val. I'm sure you're going to love it.
Tell you what's impressing me here is the size of this lead. Killigeran, what would you call that? I mean, that's 7-8 lengths clear. That's a demolition. It's a statement. They're doing so well in this race. If I look back, we've then probably got Dolphin over Double Dutch. That's fairly tight. On the far side, is that Volt? I'm seeing purple. So you got Killy, then Dolphin, Double Dutch, then the Volt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming into fifth, probably Brisons, but the Eagle is quite close as well. So that sort of fifth, sixth is Eagle and Brisons quite close together. And then further back, what can you see?
Yeah, we've got that crew on the far side. Is that Avona, I believe? And then we've got the crew from Penzance and Newlyn. I have noted, apologise. Yesterday I was just calling them Newlyn and they've asked me to make sure I'm using their full name. So Penzance and Newlyn, I do apologise. We've got the Zook from Hale and then we've got the Slip-In there. The Slip-In is being rowed by Foy C. That's one of our heritage boats, 1830. That beautiful boat was first launched and was first rowed around these beautiful islands. But here we go, Killegaren getting your podium moment. Roseland, you've got a lot to live up with the Port Isaac Energy. We want to hear you as we're moving down towards the harbour. I'm seeing the groups of people. I'm seeing hands in the air. Honestly, lovely moments. Roseland, you have absolutely stormed this. You have made it look easy. You are a 10 lengths up. Huge celebration. Well done to the Roseland and Killegaren. Just gorgeous to see you out here. And can we have a word for the Dutch here, please? Those outfits, Andrew. I know you're a man who loves tiger print.
No, they're doing very, very well, aren't they? They're still looking really strong at the finish here. And Dolphin, just in front of them, going to finish second. They're going really, really well. So you're looking at second Dolphin, third Double Dutch. Volt just dropped off the back of Double Dutch there, so they're going to looking at fourth. And Eagle finishing really strongly, so she's going to come through in what looks like fifth place.
Yeah, and after that we've got Brisons, we have got Avona, we've got Azook, we've got the boat from Newlyn and Penzance there. We've then got the Slip-In being rowed by Foy C. We've got the Paul Thirst, which is St Goran. I really hope you've enjoyed your first weekend with your beautiful boat on the Isles of Scilly. Let's give the Paul Thirst her first experience of crossing the line in a final. Beautiful, beautiful boat. Then we've got Minadu at the Rame here. They are rowing really beautifully. Well done, ladies. You can be incredibly proud of the effort you've put in this weekend. Right, moving on to Heat I. Andrew, do the honours.
Yeah, this one's coming in really fast, actually. We haven't got very long, so I'm going to just whip through these. So berth 1, we've got Tamar and Tavy and Jeanette. Berth 2, Weymouth in Tristan. Berth 3 is Yelme in the Wasp. We've got berth 4, Portreath and Zeus. Devon B in the Daedalus in berth 5. Lyme Regis B, berth 6 in Tempest. St Agnes Isles of Scilly, 7 in the Shah. Lou B in the Talisman, berth 8. Portland A in the Pulpit Rock, berth 9. RM Tamar in the Gibraltar in 10. Affinity A in Grace O'Malley 11. And Appledore B in the Lem White. And we are already up with them. And it looks to me like Grace O'Malley is out to a lead here.
Yeah, so this is one of our newer clubs, Affinity A, so it's just, just brilliant to see them out here. And can I just point out how many boats we've got following this now? We've got all kinds of sizes of boats here, supporter boats, we've got locals, there's just cheering abound, and Grace O'Malley, they're just soaking in every single minute of this. This is the boat from Affinity. But Jeanette, Tamar and Taby and Daedalus, they are not letting this go. Daedalus is from Devon. Jeanette is from Tamar and Tavy, and they are really pushing up. Jeanette actually is moving beautifully. I can also see Talisman from Lou on the other side there. I'm really appreciating the Rock put ribbons on their boats today, so I can clearly tell the difference between a Rock boat and a Lou boat. I do apologise for those two clubs for my confusion in earlier rounds.
So only a couple of 100 yards to finish here. We just run through the race order. We got Grace O'Malley leading by a comfortable couple of lengths. Daedalus and Jeanette very close together by the time you take that finish line angle into account. So that's the second and third. Talisman definitely looking like fourth place. And then quite hard between Zeus and Lem White. They're opposite ends of the line here. So that's your next two. Gibraltar's probably sitting just back slightly on that. And then coming towards the back of the heat, you've got Pulpit Rock, Wasp, Shah, Tempest. And then who's in 12th?
Weymouth.
It's the Weymouth boat. It's not Isolde. It's Tristan. Yeah, so Tristan berth 12. So, I don't know, 15, 20 strokes out of the line. Jeanette finishing really strongly here on the heels of Grace O'Malley. I don't think they're going to catch him. I think it's going to be Grace first, Jeanette second.
Can we just have a moment to appreciate the catches in Grace O'Malley? They are really committed. Look at those straight arm catches, that weight that's coming down. They want this victory, they want this podium, and they are going to get it. Grace O'Malley, Affinity, we need you on your feet, please, cheering your women over the line. You can be incredibly proud of the effort that they've put in today. Then we have Tamar and Tavy. We can really hear the sounds of the crowd behind us. It is something to be seen, so brilliant. Grace O'Malley, Jeanette, Daedalus, Talisman, Zeus. Oh, is it going to be Wasp or is it going to be Gibraltar? I can't call it. I think Gibraltar have it at the moment, but is that Wasp just going through? Oh, that one's going to be on the line. Pulpit Rock, Shah, Tempest, and then we have the Tristan from Weymouth at the back. You guys are going to have to look at the results when they come up. So, in the next heat, we have possibly my favourite boat, the Bonnet, with Carradine D in it. We have Cockleshell from RM, which is RMA. We have Elowin from Mevagissey. We have Valkyrie from Rohage. We have Ganel Maid from Crantock. We have Bridian from Bridport. We have Christine H from Clavelli. We have Seven Spirit from Portishead. We have Governor from Falmouth. We have Phoenix from Cornichet. We have Cobra from Calstock, and we have Fortitude for St Ives. I believe we sent the drone. The drone is just chasing us back, and we are beginning to look at the front. So we're just bringing the drone in to land. We will have it up very shortly. But here we go. Remind me, Andrew, which heat are we in here? It's been a long weekend. H. We've seen a lot of boats and we've seen lots of fantastic rowing. And to me, this looks really close. But I think, Crantock, you are going to have to get up on your feet. This is your first World Pilot Gig Championships, and it looks to me like you're going to get a podium. Who's that boat? Is that Christine H on the outside? It is Christine H on the outside. So that is the crew from Clavelli. And they really want to take this from you. So we need Crantock, we need Clavelli, we need you up on your feet, we need you cheering your women. I can hear the crews from the supporters boat. They really, really care. Oh, but the boat I totally didn't clock, Andrew. Governor on the far side there.
Yes, they've certainly steered a different course, haven't they? I wonder they started at the other end of the line, but they've stayed a long way to the east and they're doing fantastically well. This is going to be interesting at the finish. I mean, we were thinking it was going to be Crantock, but actually Falmouth look like they're in with a good shout here, and not far to go to the finish.
We're also seeing a little bit of weight come across the course. So this is going to be the moment, Crantock. Just keep it together. Keep your composure. That's really important. This is like two ends of the spectrum, isn't it? Falmouth, one of the earlier gig clubs outside of Sillies and Newquay, and then one of the newest. Everybody is very welcome and the competition is absolutely rife. So we've got Governor, we've got Ganel Maid. Andrew and I, we just can't call it at the moment. I can see Voos from Helford, by the way, going out the back there. Interesting. Loveton to be a little fly on the wall in that boat right now. But we've also got just the other side there of Ganel Maid. We've got Seven Spirit. They are driving Ganel Maid on. I just wonder if Crantock made the same mistake I did. Did they just not notice Governor?
It's going to be really interesting, this. I mean, we're looking at the finishing pin over by the lifeboat. Governor's got to come quite a long way down towards us, towards the west, to make it the right side of that pin. And all the time you've got Ganel Maid here charging away, coming up towards the stern of the Governor. So it's going to be close.
And this is Falmouth's development crew. You've got Rhea Sands in the middle there, but the other rowers, they have not been rowing very long. They haven't been in this experience. So for them to get a podium would be absolutely phenomenal. They'd be over the moon. Falmouth and Crantock, we want you up. We want you shouting. We want you calling your crews over the line. We believe that they can do it. Can you really push them on? They can do it. It looks like Governor are going to take this one. Governor are heartbreakingly going to take it from Ganel Maid. But Crantock, you can be very pleased with how your women have rowed in this championships. Falmouth just going to cross the line now. So Governor to Ganel Maid to Seven Spirit to Christine H. Then we've got quite the gaggle at the back there. We've got Fortitude from St Ives. We've got the Bridian, who is from Bridport. We have got Valkyrie from Rohage. We've got Bonnet. That crew's got a Carradine crew in it. Then we've got Cobra on the far side there. That's Calstock. And then we've got Phoenix there from London Cornish. We also have Elowin from Mevagissey at the end there.
Well, good. Right, we're just heading back out for the next one. We can, you've got the board there. We'll have a look at who's in the next heat. So that was Heat H done. We're on to Heat G. So in berth 1 we've got Newquay B in the Hope, berth 2 Swanage in the Peveril, berth 3 is Bude B in Lockheed, berth 4 we've got Boscastle B in Pentargon, berth 5 is Porlock A in the Goose, berth 6 is Flushing and Myler B in Penarrow, berth 7 Bridlington C in Golden Gear, berth 8 Dart A in the Lightning, 9 is Barnstable in Nipper, 10 Catwater in Catalina, 11 is Awesome in Iceni, and 12 Sulcan B in Cadmus. And again, these are coming through thick and fast, these heats. It's looking like Cadmus might well be out somewhere near the front, but we're just going to get in line and have a better look. It could be Pentagon also very, very up near the start of the leading this heat.
Yeah, it looks like absolutely everything is up for grabs here between that Sulcombe crew on the outside and also Pentagon. Have to say, Sulcombe get my nomination for Outfits of the Week. I am really coveting one of their long jackets. If someone could sort me out with one of them, I would be very appreciative. So Sulcombe on the outside there. I hear that they're super vets. They've got outfits planned to pick up their silver medal in the women's super vets. Apparently there's a lot of shiny stuff involved. So Cadmus would dearly, dearly love to join their crewmates on the podium this afternoon. Are they going to manage it?
I don't know. Let's have a little run through the order here. I think this is very tight between Pentagon and Cadmus for the win. At the moment, I'd probably be favouring Pentagon on this angle. So Pentagon, Cadmus 1-2. Lightning look like they're in third. Hope fourth. Iceni or Goose 5th, 6th. Either way round. 7th Golden Gear. Then Penarrow 8th. Lockie probably 9th. 10th Nipper. 11th Catalina, and Peveril are bringing up the rear here, but Pentagon just going clear now, looking really, really strong. And what are we, probably 30-40 strokes out of the finish line. They're looking really, really solid. Cadmus responding on the outside, but it might be a little bit late.
Yeah, absolutely. Pentagon, you have played this one to perfection. Boscastle, you need to be on your feet. You need to be calling this crew home. What a beautiful boat she is. I have to say, I have a soft spot for varnished boats, and this one is a particularly good example. But I think I can see Cadmus moving up on the outside here, Andrew.
Yeah, they didn't look like they were out of it, and they looked like they were leading a couple of minutes ago. So Pentagon have put on a push, but Cadmus responding. Now they've got to row a little bit further from that angle. They've got to get slightly, probably half a boat length further up to take this, but it's very, very tight. They're both driving themselves really hard. I fancy Cadmus probably looking more tired, body's coming up a little bit. Pentagon looking good and strong, laying back, but anyone's race. We're probably 20 strokes out here. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is this is the moment when you are side by side with a crew. You can have those finish strategies that you've planned, but they don't always come to fruition because you are just throwing everything down, and that is absolutely what we're seeing here from Pentagon. This is committed rowing. They have half a boat length on Cadmus, but Dart are also not giving up, and neither is Newquay. They are really pushing up this outside. Is Lightning going to take Cadmus? It looks like it. Oh, Dart, come on your feet, Dart, on your feet. Take them over the line.
Yeah, it's looking like Pentagon, Lightning, and then photo finish for Hope and Cadmus. That is really tight. I think Hope might have got that. And then trailing in, we've got Goose next, and then it's going to be Golden Gear followed by Iceni. And then a real cluster coming into the finish here. Penarrow looking strong. Are Penarrow going to get Iceni on the line? It's very, very tight. Too close to call from here. Keyhead might give you a better indication. Lockie and Nipper locked in a battle there. That's very, very tight. Wouldn't like to call that one either. Maybe Lockie just got it. Catalina on the outside. They're looking to come in and finish next. That would be 11th, I believe. And then Peveril bringing up in 12th spot. So that's heat.
Well, Heat G. So we're on to F now. So Peveril just rowing past us really beautifully. Well done, ladies. What a weekend you've had. So Heat F, here we go. Rapparee, Ilfracombe B, Pegasus from Brixton B, Ralph Bird from Porthgain, Blackbird from Clevedon A, Shocking from the United Rowers, the Dutch crew, Morga from Helford B, Drew of the Sea, which is the Penryn boat, in 7, Gallios in 8 from Cotteel, Star of Northley from Langstone, Bolster in 10 from St Agnes, Shelley Maid from Exmouth, and Averack from Pendine. Ooh, where are we? We are really looking in a line. Is that Blackbird that I can see? Is that Clevedon boat? Do you think they're slightly edging this at the moment? It's very close. Star of Northley is also in there for the hunt.
Yeah, we're just catching up with the pack here, and it really is a pack. We've seen a couple of heats a little bit strung out, and you sort of got a little, 2 or 3 people winning, and then a gap. We're just switching around, having a look at where we are, but Blackbird certainly looking like they've got probably half or one length there. It's very, very close. We've got Pegasus on our side here, probably back in 3rd or 4th place. So I'd say Blackbird, it's hard to call. Northney probably in 2nd. What do you think? Gallos 3rd?
No, I think Gallos have got Northey. I think they're moving up. I think we've got Blackbird from Clevedon in the lead, but we're hitting that little bit of wake now that's just coming off the tripper boats. As you know, we're as much to blame for this as other people. As we turn around, it can't be helped. But these are pilot gigs. They will have dealt with a lot worse. In fact, they dealt with a hell of a lot worse yesterday. So I have all faith in these rowers. They can do this. Determined rowing here that we've got from Clevedon in the Blackbird. But Gallios, the crew joining us from Cateel, they're really pushing up. They're using Star of Northey from Langston to really push through. But also, I wouldn't write Pegasus off on the outside. I just wonder if they're fully observing the threat that's coming from Pegasus.
Yeah, it's really hard for us here trying to pick these boats out and decide who we think's kind of leading. I mean, Blackbird's fairly clear, but Pegasus, Gallos, Northney, that's a pretty straight line there for second, third and fourth. And then everybody else, the rest of the pack on their heels. We've got the Helford boat in the middle there and Rapparee in the mix, shocking on Helford's rudder. That's your sort of mid-section, sort of 4, 5, 6 sort of area. And then on the far side, we've got Bolster and we've got Shelley Maid. They're also absolutely blade for blade, toe to toe. Bringing up the rear, we've probably then got Ralph Bird next, then Dew of the Sea, and then maybe Avarak coming in 12th. What do we got? 20, 25 strokes to finish. You're looking at Blackbird just comfy. They're nice and clear. They're going to win this heat nicely. But yeah, Northney next, but it's very tight.
So Clevedon, get on your feet. We're really hoping to see you all on the green, all on the end of the quay, pulling the Blackbird in. Hasn't she done a beautiful job? But then we've got a pack. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crews, all fighting out for that second position. We're really close to Pegasus and Gallos here. I can hear the coxes. I can see the looks on those women's faces. They are completely committed. Look at those Colteal rowers. Be careful here, Pegasus. We don't want to see a clash. Okay, we're seeing a clash from Gallos. Okay, this is the opportunity for the Star of Northey to take them on. Brilliant rowing. They've come together, but they're separating. Well done, Rapparee. Well done, the Helford crew and Morgall. Then we've got 3 boats on the other side. Shelley Maid was one of them. Shocking is one of them. Bolster is one of them from St Agnes. Then we've got Ralph Bird, Dew of the Sea and Avarak. I don't think that heat could have got closer.
What was the question?
That heat couldn't have got closer.
No, that was very, very tight indeed, wasn't it? We had 4 or 5 crossing the line at once. It's actually not a very big finish line. We had a bit of crosswords there with Pegasus and Gallos at the finish. There's an outer distance mark off the end of the quay, just to try and keep the boats away so they can film the finish line. And when you take that into consideration, when you're trying to get 4 or 5 boats across the line together, it's a bit congested.
They're all just going for that inside line, aren't they? So we're getting there. Business end now. This is Heat E. If my mum's watching, it's the time to really start taking notice, okay? Concord of Bristol in berth 1. Volante, Dart B. Faith in berth 3 for Devon. Florence in berth 4 for Brixham. Osprey for Poole in berth 5. Torrent, Boscastle in berth 6. Grace of Charlestown in berth 7. Galatea of St Martin's in berth 8. Arveth, Hale in berth 9, St Alvan, Porthleven B in berth 10, Speedwell, Rock in berth 11, berth 12, the Heart of Hailing, Langstone A. Here we go. So, where are we? That looks to me like Osprey and Galatea on the outside there. They're absolutely going for it. It looks to me at the moment like Osprey are in that dominant position. Bear with us a minute. We just got a yacht that's coming into our way. Don't they know what we're up to? Can't they see? Anyway, nice little wave. Excellent. Right, so, yeah, it is Osprey and Galatea. They're really romping away from the field here. Back to the third boat at the moment. It's St Elvin, the Porthleven crew. They're ahead of the rest of the field. But again, a bit like the heat we just saw, they're bunched at the back actually here, aren't they? We've got kind of 2 groups. We've got a group that are over on the St Mary's shore, and then we've got a group that are the St Agnes way, and they are locked in a battle. That's actually good for these crews because it's giving them real motivation. Sometimes it's difficult when your competition is right over the other side of the course. But Osprey, a commanding lead here. We need you on your feet, the team from Poole. You need to be calling your women's crew home here. Haven't they done well in this senior category? Yeah,
I was looking at the Roan and the Osprey. There's some good power coming down there. They're still looking pretty strong. bodies back into the bow. They're looking comfy. I think that's going to be a good win for Poole there. Galatea on the far side, they're still going pretty fast. I mean, the distance between these first two and the pack, there's quite a significant gap there. And as you said, we've got two pods behind that. We've got sort of a west and an east pack. Coxes choosing different courses in different directions. But if I had to call it at the moment, I say St Elvin, Porthleven doing very well in third. And then Florence, Grace and Hayling very, very close together, and they're leading a little pack on the eastern side of the course. It's going to be really hard to pick those out. I'm just working out. We're still probably 60 seconds out of the finish here, so it could change.
We're just opposite the island of very many names, so we've got 60 strokes now to bring this Osprey crew home. But this is a really dominant performance from these women. You should be really proud of yourselves, Paul. You have rowed brilliantly. And then we have, from St Martin's, the beautiful boat Galatea. Look at the rhythm that they are achieving in that boat. That is very, I would say, classic Isles of Scilly technique that we've gone on there. If someone had to ask me where that crew was from, that's where I'd guess.
Yeah, they're certainly looking strong, and they're coming in towards the finish and still going. And as I said, quite a lead, really. I mean, Osprey have walked away with that one. Hats off to Poole. They're doing very, very well. And Galatea likewise. It's a really, really strong performance. St Elvin third. I'd then go, Grace over Florence. What do you think?
I think that the Hayling might have that on the outside, you know. It is going to be tight. And then just behind them is that Torrent, the Boscastle boat, and Arveth. 3 varnished boats all together here. It's a commentator's nightmare, but it is incredibly close. Concord from Bristol and Faith from Devon. They're just losing a little contact at the back there. We've also got Arveth and Volante here. They're really in a position to take it, but well done Galatea. First over the line.
Yeah, I'm feeling for the Torrent Cox here. Poor guy, they boxed in there a little bit. You got Arveth one side, Florence the other, and not a lot of space to operate in. So everyone's doing very well to stay out of trouble.
And I am already loving the energy on the finish line. Look at you absolute beauties. Who is that in the orange hats? In the octopus hats. Oh, they are fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you need to get down to the end of the harbour wall to see this one. So we're moving on to the next one. We are now in Heat D. So we have in Phantom, we have Appledore. In Templar, we have River Tean. We have Foy in Troy. We have Bedhaven from Bude. We have Emma Louise St Mary's. Reminder that is our under 25s crew. More about them in a minute. We have Melusin from Zenit A. We have Ammonite from Lyme Regis. We have Emperor from Tresco Briar. We have Polvarth from Roseland. We have Amazon from Carradon. We have Blackrock from Falmouth. And we have Isolde from Weymouth A. So a special little shout out here to the crew of the Emma Louise. This is the Islands crew. It is Anna Jenkins, Evie Jenkins. I'm hoping there's a sibling story there. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing. Oh, and we've got Sadie Jenkins as well. 3 Jenkins in one boat. Isla Littlejohn, Lucy Hurst, Maria Rosles, Morena Liston. You girls have rowed absolutely beautifully this weekend. You have been my pick for the future. I cannot wait to see you on the start line in a few years. What an experience you're getting here. And hasn't St Mary's done well? Look at them right there in the Emma Louise in the middle of the fight. But here we go, something that we've called a few times this weekend. Amazon are leading the race.
Yeah, they are. They're looking really comfortable. Probably 2 lengths, I would say, at least. Second could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boats in line for second place. We've got Troy, Bedhaven, Emma Louise, Annamite, Emperor, and who's on the far side? Varnish boat, can't quite make it out. So there's second place here is very, very tight, but Carradon looking really, really comfortable. It's probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes to the finish. I can't see anyone catching Carradon. So Bedhaven making a bit of a move here, possibly putting their hand up for second place.
Yeah, thank you. We'd just like to apologise here for the lack of drone. We just had to bring it back down to get some more batteries in it, but we'll be back up with the drone as soon as we can. Well done, Carradon. Come on your feet, shouting your ladies home. You got the ladies A in the A heat as well. They are a good bet for the podium here. So we have Amazon, and we can just see Bedhaven, Bude. Honestly, I think I've said that so many times this weekend, but Bude again, really pushing, rowing beautifully. Then we've got Ammonite on the outside there. They're our second and third at the moment. And then Andrew, well, I'm going to leave you to call that one.
Yeah, I think it's probably the Emperor next. So they're sitting in 4th place, but Emma Louise pushing them quite hard. Troy from Foy here also going really, really strongly. And it is tight for this finish. Got Roseland on the outside. Polvarth look like they're pushing pretty hard. And I've got Isolde out the back on the eastern end, and then a gap back to Phantom, Melusin and Templar coming in 12th.
Emma Louise, I'm going to say it again, you absolute beauties. You are rowing superbly. You should be so incredibly proud of yourself. There are many, many people here who have rowed for many, many more years than you guys, and they have not got this style that you have. So well done. So that is Amazon in the lead. We have Bude in second, and I believe we have Ammonite there in third. So we're looking at Emperor as well, the Tresco Briar crew going across the line. We have Black Rock, which was the Falmouth B crew. We have Polvarth from Rosen on the outside. Melusin, that's the boat from Zena. We have then Phantom from Appledore and Isolde in what was a very, very tightly fought D heat. So, Andrew, I managed to get myself twisted in the microphone here in my excitement. We're going up to the C heat.
Very exciting. Yeah, we keep turning the same way at the key head, so we're always going clockwise, and Nesta's managed to wrap herself in the mic cable. So we run through the boats for the sea heat. We've got Mounts Bay B in Kenza in berth 1, Salcombe rowing the Bolt in berth 2, SRV Zeeheld in 3, Flushing Mile and Zorn in berth 4, Endurance rowing Endurance. That's Torridge rowing the Endurance, isn't it? In berth 5, we got St Agnes from the Alcili in Setaweo in 6, Swanage in Winspit in 7, Coverack B in the Lark in berth 8, Cadge B in the Tamarisk in 9th, Rock A in berth 10 in the Swift. We've got St Mary's D in the Islander berth 11, and Padstow A in Arrow in 12. And as before, they're already a long way down the track. Just having a quick look, I think it could be, is Torrent or Tamarisk?
I believe it's Torrent, the Boscastle boat, named after the floods they had in 2004. Oh no, I'm wrong, sorry. It is Endurance, but I still believe that it is a Boscastle boat. So well done to Boscastle. I do have to say, again, love a Varnish boat, but I think the paintwork that they've got on Endurance is particularly beautiful. Excellent example of a Cornish pilot gig. So we have Endurance in the lead. I believe Kenza from Mounts Bay are in 2, but we have got Padstow on the outside. Now again, I'm afraid, sorry, we have got some wake which is beginning to hit the boats now from the tripper boat. So this is all going to be about Endurance, just breathing, relaxing, really looking for that blade. Also maybe Kenza, use my tactic here, guys. All right, it's wake, but you can move up on a crew in wake, and it really makes the opposition go down. So here we go, we're just seeing them hit a little bit of wake now. So we've got Endurance, they are in the lead from Boscastle. We then have Kenza from Mounts Bay in second. We have Arrow from Padstow on the outside there. Then we have the Lark, which is a Coverack boat. Then we have Bolt and Zeeheld. These crews need to be careful here, because I do not want to see them coming together and falling down the pack. You want the highest possible position you can get here, and that the Bolt cocks, well done, they're really taking aversive action. They're moving away from the Dutch crew, but the Dutch crew, I have sympathy with them there, because they're also a little bit hemmed in there by Winsprit on the other side. We've also got Tamarisk, they're keeping out to the side and nice and safe. We've also got Zorn there from Flushing and Myler in the back there. So Zeeheld, Bolt, it is still very tight, but well done to these coxes for avoiding a clash here. This is awkward. We really want, if I was that crew, that Bolt crew, I'd be really wanting to push forward. So well done, Endurance. Here we go. Boscastle Gig Club, get up on your feet, give them a shout. Look at that. They look cool, they look calm, they relaxed. I wish I looked like that every time I rode, Andrew.
Yeah, they do look in control, don't they? It's a really, really classy example of, getting out in front, controlling a race, bodies in the bow. They're cheering on the key head. They're doing very, very well, coming through the line really nicely. And Mounts Bay coming in second in the Kenza, looking really strong and in control as well, followed by Arrow, then the Lark. So that's your third, fourth. And then this is going to be interesting. So we've got Bolt, we've got Zeeheld, we've got Tamarisk, and we've got Swift. And this is very, very tight. I think Bolt might just pip the Swift here. It's going to be very, very close. And then Zeeheld and Tamarisk. I think Cadgwith by a nose at the moment. Very, very tight. And then the Islanders, Setaweo, Winspit, again, photo finish. Maybe the Islanders just got that. And Zorn finishing just in front of Islander. But a very, very tight heat that. Everybody crossing the line within 15, 20 seconds of each other. It's really, really nice to see.
I was trying to wave at Andrew Pikesley there from Flushing and Myler, who I work with, but he was completely ignoring me. He was in the zone, he was focused, and I don't blame him. So, this is it. It's the B heat, Andrew. So we are now in the top 24 in the world at pilot gig rowing, and they are Zorus, Cadgwith A, Alfie Jenkins from Tresco Briar, Mischief from Bristol, Spur from Truro, Spriggan from Charlestown, Energetic from Porthleven, Beacon from Bridport, Arwenick from Falmouth, Teen Spirit from Teen, Tregarthens is a St Mary's boat, Rogue is Ilfracombe, and Whitford is Appledore. So we know these are going to take the positions 13 to 24. What we don't know is what position they're going to be, and that is what they are already beginning to fight out. So I'm glad to tell you that, well, you can already see it, but we can confirm the drone is up in the air, and it looks to me, we saw them in the heats this morning, we gave them the nod, didn't we? We thought Charlestown would do this, and look what they're doing, Andrew.
Yeah, they're looking really, really good. We got Charlestown probably out by not a huge amount, but they're probably a length up at the moment from the next boat in. I'm just trying to work out, is that Arwenick? Who's in second?
It looks like Arwenick to me from this distance, but well done, because we had both the Energetic and the Beacon drop down this morning from the top heat. Charlestown in the Spriggan, they've been here all along, as have Arwenick, so they are over pulling teams that did a lot better than them earlier in the competition. So yeah, it looks to me like we have Spriggan from Charlestown. Charlestown, we need you cheering your ladies, just pulling them, willing them into the quay. And then we've got the Falmouth crew. They are doing all they can to hold off Beacon here, but I can see that Cox of the Falmouth boat, they are just looking over slightly nervously, because the crew from Bridport and Beacon, they are just pushing up. We also have Spur, that's Truro B, am I right, Andrew? And they are in the 4th position there.
Yeah, girls going really well, 4th place in the B heat for a B crew. It's very, very good rowing. We got Rogue then, and then Teen Spirit following in past Falmouth. And then Energetic, Porthleven back in the pocket, just sitting behind them. And then your back 4 or 5 here, you got Mischief, Tregarthens, Alfie Jenkins, Zoros, and then probably Whitford, I'd say, coming in 12th. But Spriggan just about to cross the line here. They're holding off some strong competition from both Falmouth and Beacon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks to me like Arwenick have it. A little shout out to Alice Maxted there. She was doing the commentating last year. She's back rowing this year, and I wonder if she'd rather be with us right now. Absolutely exhausted. We've got a very close fight here between Teen Spirit and it's that Rogue on the outside. We've got the Energetic from Porthleven. We've got the Mischief from Bristol. We've got the Tregarthens from St Mary's. Alfie Jenkins, which is from Tresco and Briar. And then we have the Zorus, the Cadgwith crew, and then we have Whitford from Appledore. So we can confirm that Whitford are going to have the 24th position. Zoros are going to have 23rd in the world. Highly, highly respectable. So are they waiting for us, Andrew? That's what I want to know.
I think we're going to cut to an advert, because we're going to chase out and try and get as far down the course as we can to pick up the A heat. So yeah, advert time, and then we'll come back to you with the live feed in a moment.
3.
Try next, come on!
4. 5, 6, 7, 8,
like to smoke some grass just because of the
Protection.
I feel like it's like the Labrador of the sea.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So Andrew and I have both phoned home to make sure they're watching. Here we go. First of all, we would just like to shout out Sharps Brewery for their continued support of gig rowing. Your support of our culture and heritage, and your culture and our heritage, is greatly appreciated, and it allows us to do what we're doing today. So 129 crews, it comes down to this. Since returning to Scilly's post-COVID, it has all been about 3 crews: Carradon, Foy and Helford. This new Foy crew may be hiding their form. Are they happy to go under the radar to the final? We know they have some excellent women in the boat. We will see. Voos look like the boat to beat coming into the championship on the back of a victory at Newquay, at Three Rivers, St Agnes and this morning's Nut Rock race. But then they were beaten by Carradon yesterday afternoon. Could their new boat be the issue here? They were bouncing really badly in the water yesterday, corkscrewing on the waves, but I think these conditions are coming in to favour Voos. Maybe the change in the wind will help this crew. Then there's Carradon. They were in a dominant position last night in Nut Rock. They really showed the depth of experience in that crew, and we have every faith that they could bring it here. We're just turning around and we're just watching the crews coming up to the line. In terms of the ones to watch, we're thinking maybe Truro. They could push it for a podium. They have been up there consistently for the last couple of years. Plus, you know, they've had that B crew up there with them as well, showing the depth in their squad. So, on the line, what we have is we have Anne Glanville, Carradon's B. We have Zelda from St Mary's. We have Toby from Newquay. We have Petrock from Falmouth. We have Q from Foy. We have Voos from Helford. We have Anne Dowling from Carradon. We have Carrick from Truro. We have Mora from Coverack A. We have Ictus from Mounts Bay. We have Curra's Pride from Luay. And we have Gavenik from Cateel. They are coming into the line. We are ready for this.
I'm super excited for this. I'm just watching the lineup here, and it's a bit of a cat and mouse game sometimes, these A-Heat finals. People don't want to commit too early, and then there's a bit of back and forth, and the starter wants to get it right, and everyone's a little bit nervous. So they're just coming up through the lane markers now. I can see a blue boat far end berth, sort of 10, 11. They're hanging back a little bit, and you get things like that. They'll want to come up a little bit. Yeah, that's the Luay crew sitting back in their lane at the moment. Starter just asking everybody else to back up in the middle of the line. I can see Foy, I can see Helford just coming back again, and Carradon. I don't know what the issue is with Lou, but they're sitting, you know, a good couple of lengths back there at the moment. So we're just coming up towards the start line a little bit further, see if we can get a better view.
I think that's good tactics from that Lou crew. That's confidence from their coxswain. They really know what's expected of them. We can see here the Voos. They are back watering. We can see the Foy crew back watering. What's going through these crews' minds at the moment? Well, to be honest, it's just fear. You just want this over. You want that flag to fall because you want the opportunity to show what the winter training has been about. The hours and hours, the meters and meters these women have put in the ergo. They are athletes. We were having a conversation with one of the men earlier on about the fact that, you know, it used to be that you trained reasonably hard, you had a good chance of getting to the A-Heat. Now, there's nowhere near that certainty, simply because of the quality of the women that we have in this lineup.
Yeah, I think what happened there on that first attempt at a start, we had a little bulge in the middle of the line, the top crew's quite a long way forward. I suspect the Lou boat just saw that and went, you know what, we're not going up there, it's all going to come back. And sometimes it's best to just keep out the starter's eye line, you know, not wanting to be the boat that's in front of everybody else. So just hanging back that little bit, you know, waiting. Everybody else has now got to back down. We'll be a couple of minutes here now, faffing around, getting everyone back to their lane markers, and everyone will have to come forward again before we can get another line going on. So it can be like this sometimes. I think you've been here, I've been here before.
Oh my goodness, it's taking me right back. Those who've ever rode with me will know that I'm a big fan of a heart rate. So I've got my heart rate monitor on, and I'm telling you, I'm 97 beats per minute at the moment, and I'm standing still. That is how anxious I am feeling for these women. We are going, we are moving, they're coming up, they're in line, we can hear them, we can hear the starter. It's going to be any minute. Go! There we go. The flag is dropped and they are off, and they are perfectly in a line. We have seen a very aggressive start from Foy and from Helford and from Carradon there, but all crews, like I said, the standard in this women's Heats A is absolutely remarkable. Traditionally, we would expect the crews to not really shift in position as long as 3 minutes into the race. Their start procedures, they've just started. We can see that stroke rate for Voos. Andrew, I'm handing over while I check the stroke rate.
Yeah, it's an interesting start. That I thought Foy had the better of that from the look of it on the drop of the flag. They certainly got the jump on Helford, and it can be small margins in these races. We'll see whether that actually pays out in the next 3 or 4 minutes, whether it costs Helford. They seem to be moving pretty well at the moment. And if I had to pick an early, sort of like, 1 minute in, I mean, Foy, it's exactly who we expect. Foy, Helford and Carradon, they're all there in the mix. So hopefully that start hasn't had a detrimental effect on Helford's position.
Now, interesting, I did do Voos first, so it would be a little bit higher, but I had Voos at 44 and I had Q at 38. But also, look at them come, that Carradon boat, that white boat on the outside. She is moving up on Voos.
Yeah, it's a bit like we were talking about earlier. You have a race plan and you'll come out and they'll know what they want to do in those first 2 or 3 minutes. and certainly it's Carradine that seemed to be off to a bit of a stronger start here.
But you can see them. You can see Voos moving here now. They've been moving back against that push from Carradine. And that's what we're expecting this to be like. Cat and mouse for these first 3 minutes, really. But we are seeing those three crews really breaking away from the pack. I can see Petrock there. That is a Padstow boat, but it has got Falmouth, Vets A in it. We're also seeing Toby from Newquay. They are up. They are mixing it. We can also see the Coverack boat of Mora. We've become so accustomed over the last few years to seeing that Coverack crew up there, and they are not disappointing us today. We've also got the St Mary's crew of Zelda, and we've got Anne Glanville on the other side here. But it is neck and neck. It is Voos and it is Carradine. I keep feeling like I can see Voos moving up, moving up, moving up. Then they hit a bit of water and they go back, and we're back to square one. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm glad they do this for the A-Heat final now. They've allowed all the support boats to come out to the start line. We've all got out there. The washers all got out of the way. So I'm hoping all these ladies get a nice clean run into the finish. They're stretching it now. So you got this 1-2. You got the Helford boat. You got the Carradine boat, and they are head and shoulders. They're leaving the rest of the pack, but very, very little clashing on the. So we're being told from the cameraman in the air that they're very, very close together. They don't want that, really. I mean, it'd be nice to win this on the water and not have what we had in race 2 with these two crews clashing.
Yeah, we're seeing Voos actually moving up on that. They were a bit disappointed from their Nut Rock race yesterday afternoon, because they did have a clash of oars with Carradine, and they didn't come out on top of that one. So they are between each other's paddles. This is not ideal, but Voos are really using this, and this is what I mean. This is what I said to you earlier about sometimes the psychology of a crew and what they can do. And we know this Voos crew. They won here 2 years ago with many of the women. Ellie Britton Long there in the 3 seat. She was in that boat. She knows what it's like to win. She knows what it is to do. We've also got Lena Budd in the middle of that boat. She has 10 gold medals. She wants an extra one to beat her sister.
I don't blame her. If we just have a little look back through. So yeah, the 1-2 at the front, Helford going very nicely, and Carradine probably now quartered a half a length back. But we've got Foy in third position, I would say. Truro holding a steady fourth. We've got the Coverack boat on the far side in yellow. They're probably fifth place at the moment. And then we've got Petrock sitting in sixth. That would be what I would call the first six for now. We're that 4 to 5 minute middle section. Everyone's done their start sequence, settled in, and that's where we are.
But we're still seeing that overlap of paddles. Now, what's happened here now is Voos have gone far enough up that they are protected from that. And we are seeing them motivated. Now, if I know that middle pair of Helford, they will be hugely motivated to push. Now, I want you to talk about the Murray sisters, because these are two girls you know very well.
Yeah, I know them very well. You're coxing them when they were sort of 13, 14-year-old and coming up into ladies rowing. And they're two fantastic human beings. Fantastic sportswomen, and I knew when I saw them at that age one day they were going to be here, and I'm really hoping today is that day for them.
But also, we can never, ever rule out Carradine. They have the quality in this boat. They have the two Kent sisters, Leanne Woodward and Naomi Philpott. Those are their married names, but I always think of them as the Kents, because those girls, they have been the backbone of this crew. You've also got Kate Bourne in there. You've got JC Madever. You've got Natalie Howe. You've got Stacey Bruner. These women I have been racing against for the last decade, and I can promise you, if there's anything we can tell about Carradine, is they can come back at you. I knew all about that in 2009. This was us. We were Helford in 2009. I was up in the Falmouth boat, and then Carradine, they just pulled it back, because the one thing you know about Carradine is they will not give up.
No, I totally agree with you. So yeah, Helford now moved clear. We'll see how that develops in the next couple of minutes. If we move back down through the race then, so we've got Helford off by probably half a length now, leading Carradine. Then probably a couple of boat lengths back to Foy, sitting in third place. Truro, A and Carrick, the varnished boat, sitting quite comfortably in fourth. And then you're back to Morra, rowing in fifth place. Got to be a little careful on the line then, because we've got 3 or 4 in the line. You're probably looking at switching back.
Okay, so what we can see now is that the cox of the Voos, George Wilson, he's beginning to move over. He wants the psychological advantage now. He wants his 6 rowers to be looking back at Andalan. He wants them to be able to be out of the eyesight of that Carradine boat. But honestly, if I know what George is doing, but it just doesn't work against Carradine. They just don't give up. They are the absolute class of the field. We've got in the stroke seat there for Voos. We have got Grace Maguire and we have got Rachel Vague in the 2 seats. What phenomenal athletes they are. Just a week ago, Rachel was knocking out a casual half marathon. So she is quite phenomenal. I remember Grace, I saw her training at Jolly Sailors, a few years ago when I was still in the boat, and quite frankly, I wanted to poach her. Are Carradine coming back here?
They're certainly still in touch, I agree. I mean, looks like the Voos have settled down slightly, but if we look further back down the order, we've got Carrick 4th, Morra 5th, Petrock, and then there's a real struggle going on between Ictis and what's the varnished boat back there? Is it Givenik? Yeah, so you got Toby, you got Newquay on our side of the course having a fight out. You got the Carradine boat back there as well. It's really at the back end of this heat. There's still a lot to be decided.
Yeah, and can we just bring our attention back to the front? Because look at Voos, look at Helford. We're seeing that Carradine boat just becoming to pick up, but also have a look at where we are. We are at the halfway point now. We are going to be hitting that really flat water. Will the brand new boat of the Voos, will it give Helford that advantage to break the elastic? That is the call I desperately want to give Helford. Really put the hammer down now. But equally for Carradine, they are hunting. They are still feeling this victory. They know what they've done in the past. That middle pair that we've got in the middle, Natalie and Stacey, absolutely throwing the weight down. It is super clear to me that they are super committed. In the bow there we have Kate Bourne and we have Naomi Philpott. Look at them backing up their middle pair. In many women's crews, those would be the middle pair. Andrew, taking me a bit further back.
Yeah, so looking towards the back of this heat, it's a real scrap back there. Newquay moving really well. They're sort of just in front of Mounts Bay, and Givenik have been dropped in the middle there. You then got, I think it's one of the island boats just ahead of Carradine. So towards the back of that heat, there's 4 or 5 there really fighting it out. We're just past Marks are in here. I think Carradine's still at the front of this race, are still in contention.
Yeah, they are. We're coming up to the Mount of Many Names. This is 60 strokes to go. Lena Budd knows this well. She's on stroke side. She's not looking, but she knows what she's doing. She's been here before. The veteran, she has won 10 World Championship medals. This year, she broke her 12-minute PB. She is 39 with 2 children. She did a 1:48 12-minute PB. Many men would be pleased with that.
Yeah, I think Carradine are just running out of road here to be able to do anything about this. We're sort of 30-40 seconds past Marks are in. I've got a couple hundred yards to the lifeboat and there's still clear water. So this is it really. Unless something changes in the next 30 seconds, Helford are looking really strong. And
we just want to say for the Murray sisters, we saw Sarah coming across from Coverack to row with her sister this year. 2 years ago they lost their mum Pixie, and it meant everything from their mum to see them rowing together and to see the girls in the lead of this race 2 years after the passing of their mum. She would be tremendously proud of you here, ladies. Well done.
Yeah, looking at the Helford boat now, they are looking strong. Lovely bodies in the bow. They look relaxed. They're probably a good 3/4 of a boat length clear with 100 yards to go. They're rowing really nicely.
And can you hear the noise? Can you hear? We've got Helford in front of us. They're shouting, Voos, Voos, Voos. We're 20 strokes to go. We can see the huge flotilla of boats. They are standing up. They are welcoming. Here we have Helford Ladies A. They are rowing to the World Championships. They are rowing with style. You can be proud of yourselves, women. I am struggling because my little sister is in that boat. Lena Budd, you are a star. I'm passing to Andrew. I'm too emotional.
So that's Carradine coming in second. We got Foy coming in a really good third, still looking really nice and tidy. Truro Ladies A, Carrick coming in across the line in fourth, looking really nice. Coverack rowing nice and strong. They're coming in fifth. And then we've got a little battle going on here at the back. We've got Padstow coming in sixth. Falmouth Ladies A in the Padstow boat, I'm sorry, yes, coming in sixth. And then Toby and Ictus, what a battle we've got going on here. Stroke rate going right up in Toby.
And you might be wondering what's going on here. In other heats, we've been talking about them settling down. They will not. They will want these positions. This is the top 12 in the world. This is the pinnacle of our sport. This is the pinnacle of women's rowing. Now, I haven't got the stats to back this up, but look at Coteil. Give them a shout. I don't think I've seen them in the final before. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that is beautiful. We have Zelda from the Isles of Scilly, and then we have Curragh's Pride, and we have Anne Glanville going neck and neck. Kim in Curragh's Pride, she was one of the rowers that managed to be the first mixed crew across the line in the Atlantic toughest row this year. I don't know what's going to be tougher for her, 3,000 across the Atlantic or coming in 11th. They were totally committed there. We continue to be completely blown away by the effort you go to here, women. Absolutely superb. Can I please give the names of the top 3 crews? James Cockley has been coxing this foy boat for a number of years now. Emily Matthews, I believe she's one of the newer rowers in this foy setup. Isabel Hughes, equally new to the group. We have Jade Colton, we have Jolie Norman, we have Julia Provis. I think Julia might go down as one of the nicest people in gig rowing and thoroughly deserves her silver medal. We also have Stella Mitchell. For women in that boat, this will be their first time in the podium and we can't wait to see it. A very well earned bronze foy, you can be proud of that. Then we go to Anne Dowling, the Carradon boat. In the Cox's seat, Steve Kent, another gold medal. Is he the GOAT of gig rowing?
I think he very well might be.
Absolutely. We have in the boat, we have Josie Melliver, we have Kate Bourne, we have Leanne Woodward, we have Naomi Philpott, we have Natalie Howe, we have Stacey Bruner. None of those names are new to us. We have heard from them many times before. And again, another silver medal to add to their collection. They are very highly decorated and they can be proud of that. And then we have Voos. We have George Wilson. He is due to marry his fiancée, who's in the stroke seat, Grace Maguire, in just a few weeks' time. In the 5 seat, we had Joe Murray. In the middle of the boat, in 4, we had Lena Budd. In 3, we had Ellie Britton Long. In 2, we had Rachel Vague. And then in the back, joining her sister for this year, for this golden year, we have Sarah Murray. Now, we are doing our best to head towards the boats. We want to catch up with Voos. We want to have a chat with them. I think though there's quite a lot of Helford support out on the water here, and we might struggle to get close to them. But just take this in. This is absolute scenes for days. I've been incredibly lucky in my rowing career to win on the Isles of Scilly, and I think, you know, the moment will always stay with me when you go through this. You get the applause, you get the rounds, you get the smiles of your fellow competitors. It really is something exceptional. It is a completely unique experience, and Helford are undoubtedly soaking this up, enjoying every single minute. They have trained really, really hard for this. They have been completely committed to their training. You know, Lena is my sister, so I do hear a bit about it. I know what they're up to, and they've put the absolute hours in on the water, in the gym, on the ergos, thanks to their men's B, who've been out being their sparring partners over the last couple of weeks, just fine-tuning the racecraft that we saw so evident today. But can we have a chat about Carradon?
Well, I thought, certainly at the start, I was pretty nervous because I thought Helford looked like they were a little bit further back on that start, and I thought Foy had an absolute flyer. They looked really, really good, really, really strong out of that start line. I thought, oh, we could have a mix-up here. You know, we could have a change in the 1, 2, 3, but they really sort of settled down. That sort of 2 minutes in, you could see Helford really coming into their stride. And Carradon obviously had a plan there. They went out hard. They really did. They were pushing them as hard as they could those first 2 or 3 minutes. So hats off to Helford, really. I mean, they settled in, and that middle section they really just stretched away.
Yeah, they did, but my heart was in my mouth because, like I say, you know, I've been in that position against Carradon so many times. Bear with us as the drone's coming over. This is always a nervous minute. We don't want Steve to lose his drone to the drink before we go out for the men's final. But yeah, that was you know, scenes. The women, all the women in the final there can just be so proud of themselves. The quality of gig rowing is just developing and developing. And, you know, to see a crew like Cotil up there as well, that tells us something about the strength and depth of rowing we've got right across the country. We're just seeing Zelda here, the St Mary's boat. They were in that final, weren't they, rowing beautifully? Really aggressive rowing as ever that we see from the St Mary's crews. They always bring it. We always feel that slight pit of nervousness that you feel with the Salonian crews, because you never know what they've been up to over the winter. If there's going to be a surprise, it can be from the Isles of Scilly cruise, from the St Mary's cruise, so many times. So we're seeing lovely scenes here. A Zouk, they've got all the fancy dress on. It looks like they got an alien possibly in the stern, we're not sure. Oh, ladies! Sorry, what's going on? Volante! Look, is this... We've got a crew here. They're all wearing octopus hats. Volante, I want to say it was some sort of hen party sash, possibly. We're just seeing Team Templar. They're giving us a good wave. Looking beautiful, ladies. Lovely stuff. We've got the Speedwell. Hello. We got Sophie Scott Hammond there. Sophie, give us a wave. Oh, she's ignoring me. Sorry. We've got the Black Rock crew here. The Falmouth B crew, they can be delighted with their performance today. We've also got Morga, getting a lovely wave there from Morga, the Helford boat from Maddie Britton Long. Very pleased to see her sister achieve her second gold medal. I'm absolutely positive of that. She's got a massive grin on her face. So we're doing our best here to track down the Helford crew. We'll let you know. There's the Helford B crew. I'm trying to... See, okay, we've got Lightning from Dart here. We can see Voos ahead of us. We're picking our way towards Voos. Who's getting married? Dart have Team Bride insignia on, so there's something they need to let us know. Newquay have got all the glitter on. This is quite something. I think, is this... Jules King was telling me last night that she's got a wolf fleece emblazoned with a Newquay logo. I'm just seeing if Jules has got a wolf fleece on. No, not today. But Newquay are bringing all the bling to the party, and Newquay are well known for bringing snacks and supplies to the start line, to the finish line. So I'm sure they've got some snacks on board. We just lost sight. Oh no, we can see Voos. I'm waving. George is up in the bow. He's got a great grin on his face. Oh, what scenes. The crew's giving Voos. They've just seen their B crew, and they're just, it was such lovely sights here. There isn't a single face around here that doesn't have a grin on it, and we're coming alongside. We're trying to get up to Voos. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to holler at them. She's ignoring me. I can't get it. They're just enjoying it. They're soaking in the scenes, and absolutely so should they. Because this will stay for them. I remember one particular year. Absolutely no idea what year it was. Claire will probably tell me in a minute. But we came across the finish line, and the wind just took us right through the pack, and it was magical. Really great scenes, and well done Helford Gig Club. Helford Gig Club, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but they're actually the largest gig club that there is. They have over 200 members, and though they're managing to get their A crews in both of the Open Senior events today, the thing that they also do is they do a great job with their community rowing. So I know, because Lena tells me that, they quite often see crews of sort of like more older groups that just go out, they row around the beautiful Helford River, and I think they've been known to drink from the old bottle of champagne, which tells you something about Helford. But it's a really community-minded team and a club, and they'll be incredibly proud of the Voos. I know there was massive celebrations 2 years ago when they managed to win out here, so I imagine Helford are going to repeat that. Right, we are backing down. We are trying to get to Voos. They are not, well, funnily enough, they're not. We're not finding them very easy to catch, so we're working on it. We can see the crew here, the Henry Smarden crew. Absolute grins. They might be picking up the wooden spoon, but they have had absolute joy in doing so. Heart of hailing, total kudos here and credit. Loving your hairdos. We've got some Princess Leia hairdos going on here. Then we've got Ross Garrick. There you go. They've been rafted up for a long time because they won the first heat that came in here. But I think we're beginning to cruise round to Voos. We are trying to catch them, but like Caradon, we are finding that quite a challenge. Oh, Western Spirit, the crew from Western Supermare. Oh, lovely. You can see them. They're absolutely they're dressed to the max here. We're just alongside the Roseland crew, but we're coming up to the Voos, and I'm going to do my best if I can. Toby Budd, the husband of Lena, just leaning in and giving her a kiss. Bonnie and Betsy, hope you're watching your mummy right now. And that made me sad. No, it made me sad. Makes me emotional. It's Bonnie Budd, 10 years old. Lena's like determined to get her in the boat this year. So, come on, Bonnie. We got next generation. Let's see if you can win a gold medal with your mother. I reckon she could do it in another 8 years. Come on! Sorry, I shouted. Lena Budd, get over here. I want a hug. Oh, look at them. Oh yeah, it was pretty special having Andrew Bell with us on the boat today, as Sarah Murray has just pointed. Also, Lena's just pointing out that she's got as many gold medals as me. She missed out on one. She didn't do 2008 because she was saving lives in Tanzania. How dare she? Or was it Uganda? I can't remember. Anyway, so she missed a sillies, and I managed to win one medal as her sister that she didn't. We've always rowed together apart from these couple of years. So yeah, now Lena, she equals my record. She's 11. But she's a few years off the goat that is Karen Besweatherick. Can you catch Car? That's the question. We're just trying to draw you alongside. We've still got the Helford crews. They're chanting Voos, Voos, Voos alongside. When they named this boat, they knew what they were doing. They were there was conversations that were had. Lena, drop your paddle to me and I'll bring you in. Okay, so here we go. We're alongside Voos. So, can I speak to you first, Joe Murray? Sarah Murray, sorry. I called you that wrong in the race. Apologies. We weren't sure. Andrew and I were debating. This is it. It's a gold medal with your sister. How does it feel, mate?
Finally. That hurt like hell. That was really painful. Really, really painful. But it's great.
You just look stunning. Right, can I step? I'm going to step in. I'm coming into the Voos. I'm taking my mic with me. Lena Budd, you legend. Couldn't be prouder of you. Thank you. Absolute superstar. Mwah. Ellie Britton Long. Second gold medal for you. Second gold medal for you as well, Rachel. Second gold medal for Joe. She's done it in the broom cupboard. And well done, George and Grace. Next thing, getting married, guys. You've had a little bit of something to focus on. It is, but honestly, girls, I just, from all of us here at Gig Rower, that was textbook rowing, and yeah, personally for me and Andrew, we didn't want to make it too clear in the commentary, but we were Team Voos. I was struggling to talk about anyone else. Apologies, anyone else. I was staring at Voos. Yeah, Grace, do you want to give us a little word about Caradon and Foy?
We were absolutely relentless all the way down the track.
Yeah, I know. That was that part of me, Lena, which was like living our 2019 final, which was, don't let them win. They come back. We know that about Caradon, but honestly, girls, yeah. Sorry, Lena, I'm going to bring the microphone to you.
I had every faith in this crew. We've just put so much effort in this winter with George, and we knew we could do it if we executed our race, and fortunately we were able to do that, despite it being about 4 strokes a minute higher than I would have liked.
Don't worry, Helford, that's always been her complaint about us as well. So yeah, this is nothing new. And your beautiful boat, Peter Matthews, thank you very much for this absolutely stunning boat. What do you think of Voos?
She's nippy.
And now, here's a question. Your men, are they the dark horses of the men's final?
Yes.
George, you think that we need to let George go because he needs to get in and he needs to prepare himself from his own final. Good luck, George. We wish you the best. And girls, Andrew Bell, he cocks Joe and Sarah in the early part of their career, so he's just come round here. Andrew, you came out to Sillies to see these girls do it, and now they've done it. What do you feel?
Yeah, they've done it. Immensely proud of what the girls have done here this weekend. It was a fantastic row, and one I thought, I had heart in my mouth on that start line. I thought, well, I thought the starts from the other boats looked better, to be honest, and I thought, could we be seeing this could be an upset? But no, they were a really sensible middle section of that race, and I thought the finish, they just looked settled. They looked composed. That stroke rate was, really under control, and you start to believe. A couple of minutes out from the finish line, you're thinking, yeah, this is going to go their way. So fantastic for them, and as you say, a lovely looking boat, and I'm not surprised they've done quite so well. That's really good.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, I think are we going to leave it there until we're going to come back for the Open Seniors final. Andrew and I are going to sit in a dark room for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back on it. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.